Welcome back to the DFS Sweatshop, where I am your host, the DFS Jerusalem, and you can follow me, of course, on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit about what happened yesterday, places we were right, places we were wrong. We're going to look at what we can look forward to going forward in today's slate. So, this is a big one, man. Big slate today. We've got 14 games at 7:05, man. It's gonna be huge, and we're ready for it, bro. We're ready for it. Of course, you can take a look at the 15 game all day if you like. The 14 games, of course, there's a 5 game turbo that you can rock with at 8:05. You got an 8:40 night games, 3 of those, 2 in the late. And I love the fact that there's 14 games, but only 2 of them are the late games. So that means we have a really good chance of getting 80% of the rosters before lineups even lock. So that's good. It's going to be a great Friday, a good Friday for us. Last night looks good. I'm still going through the motions. There's a couple more games playing, but we hit on the White Sox stuff. I avoided Avisel Garcia in the spots that I did have the White Sox there. Johan Moncada was the guaranteed jack of the day. I was 100% all over him. Had a lot of Severino. So things are looking pretty good, man. If the Yankees can hold on and beat the Mets without letting them tie the game up, it should be good. So a very decent night for me so far, as should be for all of you who were inside of the line drive today. And if you want to be a part of that, man, it's very simple. Go hit up the website, www.dfssweatshop.com. What we do is people are making shows right now. The night before, they're making shows, and they're like, "Oh, I like this guy, I like this guy, I like that guy." What we do is we get into the first class and we really break down pitching. We have a very solid idea of who we want to play in terms of our pitching, and then once we excuse me, yeah, wait a minute, are we still good? Okay, and then once we go over the pitching, what we like to do then is we will come together inside of the line drive, which takes place at 5 o'clock. We'll get together there, and what we'll do is we'll go over the complete batting orders. Uh, we don't like to, we don't like to kind of say who we like and who we're playing and blah 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 until the batting orders come out. You can say whatever you want to say, but until you actually see the order, man, uh, you have no idea who you're going to be playing. Like it's not as cut and dry as cats like to make it. Not at all. Not at all. So let's make sure that we are connected inside of the VIP here. As yes, we good. Okay, good, wonderful, wonderful. So Chris Archer had a decent one. Did not get the win yesterday. The early slate was tough, man. And inside of the we did like a midday line drive where we were all over Cincinnati, we were all over Chicago, more so Chicago. And that kind of showed in a lot of my lineups where I was a little bit more heavier Chicago, but I still ended up cashing and doing well. It's just that I did not have a ton of Cincinnati to go along with my Chicago. Also, one of the biggest things that hurt me or stopped me from completely, getting to the money and destroying it was I can't let Houston die. I cannot let Houston die. And I've got to realize, man, without Carlos Correa, they are just not the same team. They're just not the same team. They're not the same batting order without Carlos Correa. And I've got to recognize that. I've got to realize that and use that mentality as I continue to play them going down the stretch. Correa, man, he's not so awesome. It's not like Correa is like the greatest pitcher ever. I mean, it's the greatest hitter ever, but he just covers up so many weaknesses. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't like make the mistake with him, because then you look and he's on base. He's a threat. Like should be a threat to steal a bag, but he doesn't do it very often. This Houston man was not very good. Was not good at all today. All right. Yes. So Severino gets the win, gets 32 DraftKings points. That was solid. There's still a couple of games left to go. Philadelphia, we're going to be checking out that one as well as the Nationals game in San Francisco. So those are going to be good. For the Philadelphia, San Francisco, and then the Nationals are taking on San Diego, I believe, right? Yeah. So it's gonna be a pretty decent night, man. Let's go ahead and jump into the slate. Let's get started. We're gonna jump right in, man. We're gonna be discussing park factors as well as overall pitching. Just wanting to see who we can get in there. Okay. Uh, yo, Samar Nola, baby. Oh man, yo, the Astros, muy disappointing, bro. Very disappointing. And you look at the Twins. The Twins are beating the Indians right now, fucking up my parlay. Ah, horrible. So let's go ahead and chop it up. First game we got is the Los Angeles Angels and the Baltimore Orioles, man. This game is at Oriole Park in Camden Yards. This is a huge park shift for the Los Angeles Angels. They're going to be facing Jeremy Hellickson, a guy that was kind of a throwaway from the Philadelphia Phillies. Not a great pitcher, but not a guy who, you know, is easily like, the #1 Shelly on the slate. He does actually have use. Excuse me, let's go to DK, make sure that we're there. Yeah. Yeah, he's priced at what, 7 point, priced at 7.3. 3 last time against Oakland, 21 against the Angels last time out, 21.5 against Kansas City. So the guy does have decent upside, can get you, you know, get you some points, some solid innings, can pitch, you know, into the 6th, 7th inning of the game. So I don't have any issue playing him. But the thing that I want you to understand, man, woo, Camden Yards, man, one of the best parks in the league for hitters. We're going to take a look here. Oriole Park at Camden Yards is 5th in the league in park factor. For every 100 runs scored around the league, you're going to get 108 here. For every 100 homers hit around the league, you're going to get 122 here. So keep that in mind if you're thinking about playing some pitching from this game. Andrew Haney, not a guy that I would want to play in the least. Let's take a look on DraftKings just to make sure we've got the same pitching prospects here. Yeah, Haney and Hellickson. So neither one of those guys are going to make the cut for me in terms of pitching. A lefty against Baltimore. Let's take a look at that, man. What does Baltimore do at the crib versus left-handers? And I've got to venture to think they could be pretty decent. Okay, not so, man. 25.2% K rate, 130 ISO with a 303 WOBA. That's not good at all. So they've been struggling recently against lefties, man. This could be a turnaround game for them. You look at that rain, though. That could be the one factor that makes you not want to have too much to do with this game. It's 80% humidity here, 38% chance of moderate rain. The game could delay and/or rain out. It's going to be 82 degrees here, so you can roster that at your own accordance. Take a look on the other side. Mike Trout is a guy at 5.4 is going to gain some interest. I'm sure of it. We take a look at what the Angels do on the road versus right-handed pitching. That's going to give us kind of a look. 16.4% K rate and 281 plate appearance. That's over the last few weeks. 221 ISO with a 350 WOBA. So while people are going to automatically assume that the place to go is the Baltimore bats here, I want you to take a look at some of those Angels bats, man. This could be a very solid spot for the Angels at low ownership. Stack ownership, that is, because it's a 14-game slate. So individual player ownership doesn't matter as much as stack ownership does. So you might want to keep that into consideration as you go out through your roster builds, man. Take a look at those Anaheim Angels. The next game we're going to be talking about is going to be the St. Louis Cardinals and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Yo. Good one. Good. Carlos Martinez, man, 10.6. Trevor Williams, 7K. Let's go ahead and take a look over DraftKings. Make sure these are the correct guys we got here. Bam. Yo, Carmart in his last start. 20.7 points. And that was priced up to 11.2. Against Kansas City, 27.8. And he was priced down to 8.2. Now, if you look in this spot, you're talking about Pittsburgh, PNC Park, really favorable spot for pitchers. You have them. You got Pittsburgh at home versus Carlos Martinez, the righty. I want to take a look and see what happens here. Yo, oh, Mazzara just hit a jack on an 0-1 count. Oh, my goodness. Let's take a look here. Pittsburgh at home versus righties. I'm talking over the last 4 weeks, the last in the league in ISO here. Not good. .091 ISO, 277 WOBA with a 14.2% K rate. This is in 197 plate appearances. That makes Carlos Martinez definitely in play. He's coming from a big park, Busch Stadium. You know it's very good for pitchers there. It's going to be the same thing here in, for the Pirates in PNC. We do have 9-mile-per-hour winds going out toward left field, but I definitely think that Carlos Martinez is a guy that we can use. I'm going to highlight him already. Then we got Trevor Williams at 7K. Let's take a look at what he's done over his last few starts. 15, 27.95, 15, 10.7. And we look at what happens on the road versus righties. Yo, St. Louis is not that great. On the road versus righties, the St. Louis Cardinals, 24.6% K rate, 125 ISO, and a 318 WOBA. So if you wanted to take, sort of a tournament flyer, I think you could do so with Trevor Williams here in the spot. I think you could. Very cheap starting pitcher too. I wouldn't have an issue with that if you didn't think the Cardinals would wake up. But remember, man, this is a team that has recently hit right-handed pitching very well. They just haven't over the last couple of games. So next game we're going to have is the New York Yankees, my New York Yankees, and the Boston Red Sox. Anytime these two teams get together, it's always a fire fight, which is really going to make me not want to touch either of the pitching in this spot. I know we got Jordan Montgomery at 6.9, which people are going to say is a very fair price for him. You got Drew Pomeranz at 9K. This game does have a possibility of delaying or raining out. There's a 50% chance of moderate rain in Fenway, 12-mile-per-hour wind toward left field. That's why if the game does play, it's going to be wet, it's going to be windy. I don't want to play the pitching in the spot. I want to be looking towards some of the bats here. And you've got awesome lefty-righty matchups on both sides. You take a look at the Yankees and what they do on the road versus left-handed pitching, and it's probably going to be fairly good. Let's take a look. Wow. Well, it's only 33 plate attempts. It's only 33 plate attempts. 12.1% K rate. No ISO at all. 217 WOBA. Yo, we went through this in the line drive, and that's why we jumped all over the Yankees today, and we played them, and they put up 7 runs. Yeah, this is just not a big enough sample size to really make that determination. We look what happens at home versus lefties for the Boston Red Sox. That should give us a good insight as to what they've been doing, because they haven't seen a lot of left-handed pitching recently. 22.8% K rate, 123 is going to be the plate appearances, 112 ISO with a 292 WOBA. How many injury to pitchers will Chicago White Sox have? Yo, for me, I'm going to be all over the bats in this game. I don't like Montgomery. I'm not on Pomeranz. I don't think anybody can talk me on either one of those guys. There's not huge sample sizes in terms of their situation against left-handed pitching, whether it's at home or away. But I still think I can rely on some of the bats here in this spot on both sides of the ball, both sides. The next game we got is the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Detroit Tigers. Rich Hill 11.3, Jordan Zimmerman 5.2. Zimmerman has not been horrible over the last few, but we do have 13-mile-per-hour wind going out towards center field in Comerica Park. Rich Hill, very decent in his last start out, 22.7. He was priced up to 12.2 though. And looking over the last 5, 17.05, 18.35. 24.85, 28.25. So we've seen sort of a dissension, man. We've seen him, not really pitch too deeply into games, and the Ks aren't really there for him. We take a look at what the Detroit Tigers do at the crib versus left-handed pitching. This is going to give me a look on whether I would want to play Rich Hill or not. Detroit Tigers 14.7% K rate, 200 ISO, 379 WOBA, and 68 plate appearances. I like to go 70 to be safe, but I don't want to play him. I don't like that. I don't like that Rich Hill. At 11.3, I don't love that. There's other places I can go. I do think he may be in line for the win. We look at the Dodgers and what they can do on the road against right-handed pitching. That's going to be decent. Here they are, number 1, man, 250 ISO with a 326 WOBA. They do strike out 24% of the time, but I do not think that Jordan Zimmerman is the pitcher to exploit that. So definitely some Dodgers bats going to be in play. If you want to play Rich Hill, I wouldn't have a problem, but I don't think he's going to make any of my lineups. Next game we got is the Miami Marlins and the New York Mets here. We got Justin Nicolino at 5.8, Chris Flexen 6.1. I want to check over on DraftKings just to be sure that these are in fact the pitchers that are going to be Nicolino, Flexen. Okay, cool. Well, now, first thing is first, you got Giancarlo Stanton. He's priced at 5.7. The dude has been hitting a ton of home runs. He didn't hit one the last game, but he still scored a decent amount of points. Will we go back to that? Well, I can see why. It makes sense. Nicolino is bad. He sucks. There is a possibility of delay or rain. We got 10-mile-per-hour wind in City Field going out towards center field. 27% chance of light rain here. To dew point at 75. That means the ball could fly, man. Dew points are a thing. I'm gonna be interested in some of the Mets bats here. I'm also gonna have interest in some of the Marlins lefties with the addition of Giancarlo Stanton. I think that is a very safe place to go. I wouldn't have a problem there. Next game we got is the Seattle Mariners and the Tampa Bay Rays. Erasmo Ramirez at 5.5. Austin Pruitt 6.4. Yo, oh yeah, let's go back and check some stuff. I want to look at this because we got Miami on the road versus righties. Let's take a look. 244 ISO, 339 WOBA with a 23.1% K rate. That puts Miami in play for it. We look at the Mets at the crib versus a lefty. Let's take a look. 29.2% K rate, man. They strike out a ton. Oh, man. 172 ISO, 222 WOBA. Damn, does that mean that Justin Nicolino could be in play? 5.8 is the price on him. That's fairly cheap. 12, 8.8. I mean, what does he have to do? What does he have to do to make value there at 5.8? That's tough to get to there. That is. That really is. That's tough to get to. That's tough to get. Yeah, that's tough to get to, man. I'm gonna play some of those Mets bats. All right, next game: Seattle and the Tampa Bay Rays. Austin Pruitt 6.4. Erasmo Ramirez 5.5. Seattle Mariners on the road versus righties. They have not been very great. 13.7% K rate, which is pretty low. 148 ISO with a 293 WOBA. Do I think that Austin Pruitt is a guy that can exploit how bad they've been playing away from home? 10, 16, 20, 11, 10.95. I wouldn't rule him out. I wouldn't rule him out. Tampa Bay, Tropicana Field is a very solid place for pitching. This could be one of those surprise situations. You got a guy 6.4, could help you pay up in other spots. He's going to have, I'm going to consider him. I'm definitely going to consider some Austin Pruitt here. Erasmo Ramirez, 5.5. Not a guy that I'm really looking to. 13, 10, 21 in his last 3 starts. Now, we do know that Tampa Bay does K a lot. We take a look at what they do on the, at the crib versus right-handed pitching, and they're going to be right here, 31% K rate, 0.096 ISO, 240 WOBA. So if you want a cheap play, like a cheap punt-style pitcher play, I think this could be the game where you find that, either in Erasmo Ramirez or in Austin Pruitt. The next game we got is going to be the Cincinnati Reds and the Atlanta Braves. Sal Romano, 5.7. R.A. Dickey, 6.6. Yo, I hope Cozy's in the lineup here. I really do, man, because I would love to play him in this spot. Votto, of course, is going to be guys that you're going to like. He's at 5K. R.A. Dickey at 6.6. He's had some decent starts this year. Recently, 18, 15, 26, that 1, and at 12.35 were left a little bit to be desired for those. But the price is still good on them. I just do not want to play a pitcher with the Cincinnati Reds on the road, man. You take a look at what they do. Let's look at the Reds on the road versus righties. 20% K rate, 152 ISO, 329 WOBA. Not bad, not great. We look on the other side, the Atlanta Braves at the crib versus righties. See what they do. They're bottom of the barrel, man. 21% K rate, 130 ISO with a 270 WOBA. Sal Romano, that's going to be a gutsy play there, bro. And I don't think I can make that one. Don't like Sal Romano in this spot. Next game we got is the Chicago White Sox and the Texas Rangers. James Shields, 6K. Andrew Cashner, 7.1. Yo, we saw this matchup recently, bro, and Cashner kind of got to it. But, yo, the White Sox are playing much better, man. They really are. It's 11.5 run total. We've got a 0% chance of rain here, 38% humidity, 8-mile-per-hour wind, 96 degrees. It's going to be pretty hot. I think we can play bats here, man. I don't like Shields, and I don't think Cash is a guy that I'm going to get behind. At 7.1, been decent in his last 5 starts. 14, 18, 21, 15, 10, and then 24 before that. So his last 6 starts have been decent. We look at James Shields. That dude can get hit up at a moment's notice. 18, 15, 7, 6, -4, 1, 1, 12, -1, 7. So he's not a guy that I think I'm going to be looking at. We look at what the White Sox do on the road versus right-handed pitching. That should tell us a little bit more about how good or bad they've been. 24.3% K rate, 115 ISO with a 289 WOBA. If you want to play Cashner, I think he's usable. On the other side, the Texas Rangers at the crib versus righties. I can assure you they're going to be good. Yes, second in the league, 248 ISO, 411 WOBA with a 22.5% K rate. That is nutty, and that's definitely usable. So I'm going to like, I think I put Cashner in play for me, and I'm going to like, just join. Good call on the guaranteed jack. Yeah, man, I felt it, bro. I felt that. I felt Yohan Moncada, man. I just did. So definitely, I'm gonna look at Cashner, and I feel like the Texas bats are gonna be in play for me again. Next game we got is the Oakland A's and the Houston Astros. Sean Manaea 5.6, Dallas Keuchel 10.4. Keuchel impressed in his last start. Had a very good one, 25.6 points. He was priced down to 9.7. Has he made a change? Has he turned the corner? Because the -10, the 3, and the 1 sucked the 3 games before that. But to get a good look at what I want to do with him, I want to see what the Oakland A's do on the road versus left-handers, okay? Let us look. Okay, in 79 plate appearances, 19% K rate, a 137 ISO with a 298 WOBA. That's going to put him in play for me. That's going to put Keuchel in play for me. It's 8.5 run total. We are in Minute Maid Park, which is a fairly neutral spot for hitters. Well, let me make sure. Let me be correct with this. Let's be correct. Okay, so more of a hitter's park. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's a hitter's park. 105 park factor. For every 100 runs around the league, you're gonna get 99 here. For every 100 home runs, you're gonna get 112. So I definitely think that I like Keuchel here. I do like Keuchel here. There's a couple of guys that do hit very well against left-handed pitchers for the Oakland side. Most notably, you guys like Ryan Healy does crush them. I think Marcus Semien is a good righty-lefty guy. So there's going to be some usable options on the other side if you didn't want to play Dallas Keuchel here. Sean Manaea, he's the one that sucked in his last couple starts, man. His last 3 starts, negative. There's no way I can play this dude. I can't. And if the Stros don't stroke against Manaea, oh my God. Please. The Stros got the stroke against Manaea. I ain't going all in on him, but I'm going to have some exposure to the Astros. I'm going to have some exposure to the Astros because, oh my goodness, man. I mean, come on. There's no way this guy that's been getting hit up and lit up all over the world. There's no way you can let this guy ball like that. So I'm gonna have a look here. I most certainly am. All right. So let's go ahead and move on to the next game we got. Is the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Minnesota Twins. I like this one already. Zach Galli, check please, ring me up. Give me some Zach Galli, 8.4, beautiful price on him. Let's take a look at what the Minnesota Twins do at home versus righties. Over the last 4 weeks, they've been doing well. 222 ISO, a 319 WOBA, and a lot of this has to do with where Kepler has been batting in the order. Once they moved him up, bro, we've seen him and Rosario like kind of going ham, and that definitely has improved their team ISO over the last 3 weeks. But one thing does remain, man. That 23.2% K rate is something that I really can't get around. So while I think people are going to want to play some Minnesota bats here, I get it. It makes sense. I'm going to be fucking with some of that. I'm going to definitely be fucking with some Zach Galli here. At 8.4K, very decent price. 19, 13, 24, 30, 19, 14, 19, 19. Very consistent. You give me that 19, baby, we'll be all right. We'll be all right. Don't give me 19 and a win. That'd be good. Looking on the other side, Urban Santana, the price is now down. Him, 8.7. We're going to take a look at the Arizona Diamondbacks and what they do on the road versus righties, and I'm sure you won't be super duper impressed by this. 24% K rate here, only a 143 ISO with a 286 WOBA. To me, that is going to put that's going to put a little bit of the focus or takes a little bit of focus away from the Arizona Diamondbacks as a stack. It's going to make me focus more so on positional, situational guys. Like Jake Lamb does hit right-handed pitching very well. I'm gonna be looking at him. Not Pauly, but Peralta. If he's in the lineup at 3.8, I could have a little bit more consideration there for him. May not want to just stack Arizona, but I do want to get some exposure here. So I definitely could take a look that way. The next game we got is the Cleveland Indians and the Kansas City Royals. The Indians are coming off of a doubleheader, and they still and they still are the easy favorite in the spot, man. Negative 195. Hey, Kluber, check please. Check please. Okay. Well, no, I'm not just gonna jump. I'm not gonna just say check please. I'm not just gonna ask for the check. Okay. When it comes to Kluber, let's be judicious about this. Okay. Let's take into consideration everything that's going on. All right. First things first. Kluber is a fucking beast. Okay. Straight up beast. We've seen what he's done recently. Okay, we saw two 40-point games back to back against two of the more elite offenses in the league, Colorado and New York. Then he goes to Tampa, Tropicana Field, which is a pitcher's paradise, and he only scores 27.5. Okay, and that's just the variance associated with MLB DFS, right? That's the first point. First point is he's a beast. The second point is Kauffman Stadium. Okay, is I believe it's a pitcher's park. It's a pitcher's park. Kauffman Stadium here is a pitcher's park, an extreme pitcher's park. Okay, for every 100 runs produced around the league, you're gonna get 102 here. But for every 100 home runs hit around the league, you're only gonna get 86 here. So I don't think we have to worry about him getting knocked all around the yard, so to speak. Okay, that's the second point. That's two in Kluber's favor. The third point is we've got 10-mile-per-hour wind in Kauffman Stadium. We've got a 70 dew point. So the weather situations kind of put more of the shift back in the hands of some of the pitchers. Okay, excuse me, of the hitters. Then you look at the lefty-righty matchups and how well guys like Eric Hosmer hits righties, Melky Cabrera, Mike Moustakas, even Brandon Moss. These guys can hit right-handed pitching very well. Then you look at it, well, Corey Kluber, man, if you got to hit the ball to put it out over the fence, he might be throwing it by him. So all of that being said, man, 13.4, man, big price for him to pay. And I can tell you, I still like Kluber. I still like Kluber. Let's take a look at what the Kansas City Royals do at home against right-handed pitching. Let's take a look. 200 ISO, 312 WOBA, only a 17.4% K rate. This is over the last 4 weeks, man, with 160 plate appearances. So this is going to be a tough one, bro. But in my opinion, Corey Kluber is still so good that I wouldn't tell you, oh, if you're not going to play him, then you might as well attack him. I'm not going to tell you that on a 14-game slate. If you're not playing him, just fade him. Don't play him. Don't worry about attacking him, bro. I don't think that's the way to go. I really don't. I really don't. But I'm definitely gonna have some Kluber. Anytime a guy has double-digit K upside, I'm gonna have a long, strong look at him too. Ian Kennedy 6.2. Now I think the homie did get hit on the hand with a pitch, so he may not play in this game. And I think it was Ramirez, but still very potent offense. Even though Ramirez probably won't be in the rotation for the Cleveland Indians here. Got Ian Kennedy, who we used the last time out, had a very nice game. No, that was the other guy. 16.85 against the Chicago White Sox. Yeah, it started out nice for him, and then he got hit up later on in the game. So I would have a problem with any of the Indians players here. You look at what they do on the road versus right-handed pitching. I don't think you're going to be surprised by how good they've been. Here we are, 205 ISO, 334 WOBA, with, of course, a 20.4% K rate. Very usable here. Very usable. Is this the homie? Oh, is Johan Moncada. He's back up. Hit one out, homie. So, next game we got, this is crazy. So, we've got Milwaukee and Colorado. We've got a Coarse slate. Yo, this is going ham. This is one of those slates, man. This is a Good Friday. Because we've got, look at the pitching we've got. All right? We've got Scherzer, 14K. We got Kluber, 13K. We got Rich Hill. We got Carlos Martinez. We got Dallas Keuchel. We got all of that on the slate. Then we have Coarse. Not only do we have Coarse, we have lefty power coming into Coarse. Okay? Oh man, this is gonna be a good one. This is gonna be a good one. This is gonna be a really good slate, bro. A lot of decisions to make here, and that's what I'm here to help you do, man. 12 run total here. German Marquez 6.3. Matt Garza is 5.1. That is kind of tasty. That is kind of tasty. 7.4, negative 8.5, 1911, 7.65, 22.05. Yo, right, just off first glance, Matt Garza at 5.1 is somebody who I think I like. Just off first glance. We're going to talk more about it, of course, in the line drive. Some of y'all might need to talk me off of him and shake me back into my senses, but 5.1, man. And Coarse games, when a Coarse game lets people down, it is always awesome. Like when a Coarse game does not live up to the hype, oh my God, if you play a pitcher there, it's awesome. Because what they tell us is you can't play a pitcher in Coarse. You got to get all the bats. You got to pay for pitching. They tell us all of that shit, man. And they don't do that. They don't do that, right? So the Milwaukee bats against Marquez are going to be usable. Of course, Rockies bats against Matt Garza are going to be usable. But I'm thinking about just being completely contrarian in the spot. Let's take a look at what the Rockies do at the crib versus right-handed pitching. I'm sure you're going to see them toward the top half of the league. But actually, no. 22.3% K rate, 178 ISO with a 372 WOBA. That WOBA is high, though. 372 WOBA is high. You don't need a big 200 ISO when you got a 372 WOBA. So they could be in good shape. Talking about the Rockies, man. On the other side, looking at the Milwaukee Brewers against German Marquez, let's take a look what they do on the road versus right-handed pitching. 13th here in ISO 158 with a 296 WOBA, 26.9% K rate. This team strikes out a ton. Is German Marquez the pitcher that can exploit that? I just really don't think so. Next game we got is going to be the Washington Nationals and the San Diego Padres. Max Scherzer 14.1, Luis Perdomo at 5.3. Yo, of all of the pitchers on the slate that are priced up, the one guy that I really fear getting hit up in the spot that he's in is going to be Max Scherzer. I really do. It's only a 7-run total. It's 63 is the dew point, 0% chance of rain, 8-mile-per-hour wind, 70 degrees here in Petco Park. A very solid spot for pitchers, man. 14.1, he's priced up. You're going to be going against one of the hotter, younger teams in the league, especially at home. San Diego at the crib versus right-handed pitching. Let's take a look. 22.8% is the K rate, 171 ISO with a 303 WOBA. That is not bad at all. And Adam Lind, yes, thank you, Adam Lind. I got Chassin, man. I got Chassin rolling. All right. Then you got Luis Perdomo at 5.3, taking on the Nationals. You know this is without Bryce Harper. Very different rotation. Let's take a look at the Nationals and what they've done on the road versus right-handed pitching so far. Where we at? They're toward the bottom half of the league, man. 18.7% K rate, 128 ISO with a 243 WOBA. This is in 155 plate appearances. That's not great. That's not great. And you look at Perdomo at 5.3, man. That's a very cheap price. I'm gonna look at Perdomo. I am. We're gonna come back and check that out. Ready? Next game we got is the Philadelphia Phillies and the San Francisco Giants. If a game is in San Francisco, I usually just want to take an automatic look at pitching. But both of these pitchers are so bad. Zach Eflin and Matt Moore, they're so bad. I want nothing to do with either of these pitchers. No way I'm going to play those guys. So let's go ahead and take a look. Go back over the pitching that we do have for today's 14-game slate. Let's take a look here. Chassin getting them. Chassin dealing out here. All right, so we got Corey Kluber, Carlos Martinez, Dallas Keuchel, Zach Godley, Andrew Kashner, Austin Pruitt, Erasmo Ramirez, Luis Perdomo, and Matt Garza. Those will be the pitching prospects that we're going to fold up, take a look at. We're going to take them and bring them into the line drive at 5, kind of chop that up, go over that, and see if there's anything we can come up with. Of course, we're waiting on those the orders to come out, the batting orders to come out, so that we can take an honest, real look at the batting orders and then build our lines. So, yo, this has been your DFS Jerusalem. You can follow me, of course, on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. Signing off, letting you know if you're on DraftKings, keep it 200. If you're on FanDuel, keep it 250. You are rocking with the best. So always always keep it 300. Peace.